Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Um, it is Tuesday, or Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and today is also known as Chest and Back Day. So, we're gonna start out with those chest-supported dumbbell rows, and probably some flies and jazz. Nothing too crazy, It'll just be a good day. I don't have too much to say today, other than it's we're chooching right along. We're having a good old time. It's payday today, so when that hits, that'll be cool. We all like money. Money's pretty great. I just watched the Idiocracy for the first time because it's on Disney Plus or Hulu or one of those services, And I mean, it was vulgar for sure, but it was actually pretty funny. I actually got a few giggles out of it, and I do notice that it's not like prophetic, It's a satire, it's a comedy, but it does kind of seem that way, right? Like that the really intelligent people tend to not reproduce as much, and the really dumb people tend to. And it makes you wonder if intelligence is really beneficial in terms of species survival in the socioeconomic climate of the modern day. I don't know. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. It's a movie, and I enjoyed it. I put up a tennis court. How fun! How fun! Another note: I just started a series called Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton, and it's one of those crime mystery lawyer shows. Very Reacher-esque, but without all the action and the shooting and stuff, at least so far. But I mean, you can get a pretty good. It's on Prime, so if you got Prime, you can watch it. But the little blurb that they give you about the series pretty well sums it up. So if I'm only on the second or third episode, but it's a washed-up alcoholic lawyer stumbles across a case that turns out to be a big conspiracy. Pretty standard. But I like Billy Bob Thornton, and I don't know if you've ever seen Sling Blade, but that's a classic. But it's panning out to be pretty good so far. It's definitely diverting, which is these days all you can ask for out of TV. There's not a lot of thought-provoking movies. Actually, my fiance showed me a film the other day from the 30s, actually. It was from 33 or 34 called Boys Town. And very old school. And it's based on a true story about this priest, Roman Catholic priest, named something Flanagan. Father Flanagan. True story. And he started with a loan of $27 or something, which in the 30s was a lot. I mean, it's $1,000, but still, started with a loan of basically nothing, and started essentially like an at-risk youth home or shelter or whatever that evolved into this like vibrant community, self-governing community that took like at-risk youth boys specifically and taught them ethics and taught them trades and how to like take care of themselves. A lot of these kids were without fathers or mothers. A lot of them were orphans. A lot of them just came from the streets. A lot of them were like criminals that got into this system as like a plea deal or something. And a lot of them turned out to be really successful. It was a very successful project. And the movie itself, I mean, it has like a drama storyline. Whether or not that actually happened, I doubt, but it made for good cinema, I guess. I mean, the movie got an Oscar, and it was really good. And if you're a fan of old movies, black and white movies, I'd definitely give it a watch. It's definitely a feel-good, heartwarming story, and it's nice that it's based loosely on a true story. And I did a little bit of research into the actual Boys Town after this, which is now a sanctioned village outside of Omaha, Nebraska. It's a real place, and it's still in operation, but they've expanded to, they now also help at-risk young girls, and they have like more than the one facility, and then they do a lot of like outside of just like, these reformatory school type things. They also have like community outreach programs and like smaller like foster home type things where they get like smaller quantities of children and like set them up with like a mentor or something. But anyway, after the original Father Flanagan died, it became mired in some sort of controversy. Like the chairman that they elected ended up being an embezzler, and he raised $250 million for nothing. And even though like school attendance and stuff was going down, they weren't building anything, and it turns out this guy was just horking a bunch of money for himself, which, that's human nature. Somebody does something good, and no good deed goes unpunished. But they fired that dude sometime in the 50s or 60s. And, after the societal, like, we shut down a lot of reformatories, we shut down the asylums and things like that. Programs such as the Boys Town program and all that sort of fell out of fashion. It's still in operation today, and they still help a lot of people, but, it's not what it used to be. But it's still a noble mission, and I support people helping people, I support real, honest charity work. I don't support charities for the most part because of that whole embezzling thing, but I do like the central message, which is that sometimes people just need a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a helping hand to help them out of a precarious situation. And in my personal life, I've experienced a lot of that. Like in college, I was in a fraternity. I guess I still technically am, but I'm like old and graduated and stuff now. And the organization is more or less defunct, but the ties of brotherhood and all that jazz are still there. But it's called Tau Phi Sigma. It's a multicultural fraternity, although the emphasis is heavily on Hispanic and Latino members, but there's everyone in there, of all different races and creeds and whatnot. Very open. But anyway, there's a lot of stories similar to that in that organization. Like one of my brothers is brothers in the fraternity sense of the word. His parents, and I'm not going to name any names here just for, sake of privacy and all that, but his parents were illegal immigrants, and they came over with him at a very young age, so he didn't have any say in the matter. And through the DACA program, which is like deferred agreement for children or something, I don't know. Basically, if your parents immigrated to the United States illegally, you didn't have a choice. I don't know if this program's still around, but the Dreamers is another name for the program. But if your parents immigrated illegally, this program allows you as a youth to obtain your citizenship after you turn, before or after you turn 18, because it allows you to be naturalized because you didn't really have a choice in the matter. You were a kid, you know. And one of my brothers did that, and he was attached to a lot of he lived in, I want to say LA at the time, and he was getting real hung up on some of the gangs out there. And by the time he was a young teenager, he was full on, ready to be initiated and all that, bad stuff. And this program and some social workers reach out to him hey, you're going down a bad path, and it's not going to be good for you. Have you heard about this program? And through this program, he was actually able to, he got his grades up, he got back in school, he got involved in extracurriculars. He actually ended up going to university where he joined my fraternity, got a degree, learned to speak English a lot better, became a very functional, high-performing member of society, and it set him up really well. He's an American citizen now, and he's got a good paying job, and he owns his own house, and he's got cars, and he's just a overall good dude. And, whether or not his parents broke the law, whether or not he had a choice in the matter, it was this program, and it was these people that reached out to him and took him off of this, path that wasn't heading in the right direction and put him on the right track. And he's I would think, and I kind of know he's a much better person as a result of that. And, whatever your stances are on the DACA and the Dreamers program, whatever your stances are on illegal immigration, whatever, I can, from at least anecdotal experience, say that there are success stories, and that sometimes people just need, sometimes God just has to put the right person or right people in your life to pull you off the path where you're headed, which is a bad direction, and put you on the right place. And that happened to this friend of mine, and so a very similar story to what that movie was about. And I really support that. I think that children, as a rule, I'd say with very small numbers of outliers, are very impressionable, very vulnerable, and they'll just kind of do what they think, they'll follow their role models, and if they don't have good role models, if they don't have anything to aspire to, they're going to end up following maybe some bad people. And you give them good role models, you instill in them good ethics, and give them, education or trade skills, or give them the tools that they need, and and instill in them a moral compass, and just let the chips fall where they go, and they'll turn out better. And I think that is a good notion, politics aside. So, yeah, that's, I guess, my little spiel for today. I think at the end of the day, there are, everybody has the potential to be good and successful. As a rule, I mean, there's of course outliers. There's people with brain disorders and imbalances and stuff that they don't have a choice whether or not to be a good person. It's not, up to them, and that's just a circumstance of their biology. And for that, again, those are at-risk people and they need help. But I think, giving or reaching out and helping when you can is something that you should do. And I am an Eagle Scout. I spent a long time in the Scouts. I just cut someone off and almost got hit. I feel really, really stupid. But we're all good. We're all good. No harm, no foul. Whoopsies. But I was a Scout, and the Scouting motto is do a good turn daily. And I think it's a good motto. And by that, I mean, like, in your own personal life, you see somebody on the side of the road or in a parking lot, their car needs a jump, or an old lady crossing the street, or, helping somebody open the door, or pushing a wheelchair around, or helping a blind guy across the street, or carrying somebody's groceries, And don't be a fool about it. If you feel a situation is a little sketchy, you get out of there. But if you don't, and it's your opportunity to be a good person, be a good person. Anyway, I'm going to get warmed up, probably for a while. I want to get some steps in, maybe catch another episode of this Goliath show, and then we'll hit some chest and back, so I'll see you in probably about an hour. So our warm-up, we're going to hit some pull-ups here. 2 quick sets of 10, and I don't think it should be that bad. I'm pretty familiar territory here. Here we go. Feeling pretty easy today. Pretty easy. Yeah, at this rate I could be doing weighted pull-ups. It does help that my body weight's rocking right around like 193 or something. I think I was like 194 even this morning, so pretty cool. Pretty cool. We are getting there. All right. All right. And chest supported rows. So, everybody knows the rules. 2 sets of 12. We did not get both sets of 12 last week or last time or whatever. Last time we did the exercise, we got 12 and 10. So, we're sticking with the 90s, which is what we did last time. So, anyway, we got 90s here. Gosh, I'm hungry. That's all I can think about. Yeah. 2 sets of 12. Let's kill it. I wish my arms were just a bit longer. Yeah. Okay, so we had to cheat a little bit at the end there. I think dropping the weight is actually going to be beneficial, or I can just do what I'm going to do. I took a break there, and I probably shouldn't have / didn't need to. And I think that's what slowed me down a little bit, but also possible to just, we're in a deficit, and things happen. All right, another set. All right. Goodness. We're dragging a bit more ass than I thought I would today. But, it's the nature of the beast. Anyway. We're just going to pump these out. No brakes on this train. Easy when it's over, boys. Okay. Oh, this is like 9.5. Damn. Well. Oh well. Bigger jobs. Done some more research, and the reason that this machine is so heavy is because each of these plates on the stack over here are actually 12.5 on the pin loaded thing, not 10. So if I set it at 14, logically I think it's 140. Actually, it's like 180. So, which is, or I'd be trying anyway, because I set it on 18, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, put all my force into it, and I could barely get it up off the stack. So, anyway, so I got like 180-ish on there. Whatever 14 by 12.5 comes out to, I can't really do that math mentally. So, anyway. It's like 176 or something like that, so pretty damn close to 180. Anyway, set of 12, wide grip. Let's do it. All right, not bad. Okay, it's actually 20. That's what I thought. So let me hit 8 more real quick. So actually it was 20, but might be able to lap those videos together. Anyway, another set of 20. Another set of 20 this time. I think I mess this up every week. It's always 20. You know, it hasn't changed in a while. Maybe I should commit that one to memory. It's 20. And we're not changing the weight, so might not even end up being 20, but I'm going to do what we can. Anyway, I am feeling it today. You know, like my lats are singing, and I am tired, and I want to eat, but my next meal is not for a couple hours here, so anyway, here we go. Here we go. Hurry! Okay. That was like 17, I think. But that's fine. I give it what I had. Goodness, let's move on. Smith Shrugs 12 and 12. At this point, you should be familiar. And we're keeping the weight on this one because it's one of those exercises where you can just get deeper, better with the holds and the shrugs. So just cramming more and more weight on there. But anyway, here we go. That was loud. Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so not bad. I just kind of went for a better squeeze there. And mercy, we got the squeeze. Traps are one of those muscles that a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I've been approached by some people and they're like, hey, you got pretty decent traps, you got big traps, how'd you do it? And, you know, I mean, besides the catch-all answer of like, you know, your genetics get you there, the other answer is like, you gotta train them, you know? And shrugs are good, but they're kind of like a accessory, you know, sort of like how for like legs, you know, like your squats, your hack squat, that's going to be your primary like growth driver, and then your extensions, your leg curls, leg press, things like that, or like, well, not so much leg press, but like there's the accessory workouts, like the secondaries. For your traps, like the primary growth drivers are like deadlifts, farmer's walks, you know, RDLs, really anything that involves holding a lot of weight that's supported, you know, by like your shoulder area. And shrugs help, but I think like the main way to get your traps bigger is to just move some heavy ass weight, you know. And I find that if you're doing rack pulls or deadlifts, what really helps with your traps and your rear delts also is at the top of your rep, if you shrug it back, I mean, it just adds a whole nother dimension to what's already a pretty decent muscle building exercise. But anyway, let's hit that other set. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah. Ooh, that hurt pretty good. Alright. Let's do whatever's next. Underhand pull down, but I'm just doing this machine here because I do like this machine. You know, get an occasion, very often use it. So I got 190 loaded up on here. Oh, and I need to acquaintance myself with this setup here. Anyway, got 2 sets of 12, 190. Let's kill it. Got mighty heavy towards the end there. My hip cramped up a little bit. Yeah. So for reference, just give you a little peek into my workout schedule. And besides lifting, what's going to end up being 6 days this week. I'm also, excuse me, doing 3 or 4 days of cardio at 300 calories plus each. And so far this week, I'm at 2 sets, and we're totaling 655 calories burned in cardio. So that's a fifth of a pound just from cardio. And I'm averaging 8 to 10,000 steps a day. And so that's another 5 miles. That's another 500 calories, give or take, every day, just walking. Possibly more. You know, the math on that isn't exact. It doesn't take into account like hills, stairs, things like that. So that's probably another 500 plus. So, you know, we're burning basically a third of a pound of fat every day. And our workout, so even more, factor that in there. Plus our caloric deficit which is probably roughly 1,000 calories. So we're looking at over like half a pound or more per day at this point, which, you know, it's going to average out to like 3.5 pounds of fat a week. And at this body weight, 2 weeks of this, man, and I will be basically at my goal weight. So we'll see, you know. Also, the body's not a perfectly closed system. I'm not using like a gravity, you know, not using like a scientific to the 1,000th of a gram scale to measure out my food, things like that. So it's not precisely accurate. You know, we're going to fudge up a few numbers here and there because it's an imperfect world, you know. Anyway, let's work on that second set. Oh, damn. Oh, I think we got 1 or 2 more things after this. Whew. So I lied a little bit. I actually have one more thing, which is our burnout pullover set. And I've got to set the 4, which by my calculation would be 48 pounds, which is heavy as hell for a burnout set. But hey, someone's got to do it. Here we go. It burns. Oh, yes, sir. Give me another one. This is it. Let's kill it.
Man, you feel that in your triceps too. Good little pump check in. Hell yeah. Little pump check. And we will just shirt on for starters, just so we can see like how it looks, you know, relaxed, I guess. Try to tuck this in a little bit. There we go. This is just, you know, no flex, coming around, just seeing how it looks. Again, this is completely unflexed, just standing normally. No puff out a little bit, you know, and that looks pretty cool. So, let's get a real proper pump check in. We are getting diced, my friendos. This is about how lean I was last time I was at Weeks Out. Maybe a bit leaner, but definitely bigger, a lot bigger. If you scroll back far enough on my Instagram, you can see it. Anyway, just relax, not flexing, you know, neutral. Come around, front relaxed, backing up, rear relaxed. And then just for practice sake, we will run through a quick little quarter turns and our lat spreads because that's what we hit today. We want it to look pretty cool. So, maybe if I can get my shorts rolled up properly. All right. Okay. So, gentlemen, front relax. Quarter turn to your right. Quarter turn to your right. Quarter turn to your right. Is it this way? It's this way, yeah. Sorry. Fucked that up a little bit. Quarter turn to your right. Gentlemen, front lat spread. Oh yeah, like this. Then we'll hit a back lat spread real quick. I can't tell how that looks. We'll see in the instant replay footage. Get these shorts down. Woo! But yeah, that is today's back workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't really, but what are you gonna do? All right, I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care.